So today's topic is emerging and re-emerging infectious disease. Now regarding introduction, despite remarkable advances in medical sciences and treatment during 20th century, infectious disease remain the leading cause of death worldwide. On World Health Day, that is 7th April 1997, WHO adopted the slogan Emerging Infectious Disease Global Alert, Global Response. The World Health Organization warned in its 2007 report that infectious diseases are emerging at a rate that has not been seen before. Since the 1970s, about 40 infectious diseases have been discovered, including SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome, Ebola, avian influenza, swine flu, Zika virus disease, Nipah virus infection, and now COVID-19. Now, by definition, emerging infectious disease is newly identified and previously unknown infectious agent that cause public health problem either locally or internationally. By definition, re-emerging infectious disease are infectious agents that are well known, had fallen to such low level that they were no longer considered as public health problem and are now re-emerging after being dormant for many years, showing upward trends in incidence or prevalence worldwide. Now, what are different factors contributing to emergence or re-emergence of a disease? It takes more than a microbe to cause a disease. Disease does not occur in vacuum. Disease occurs due to disturbance in equilibrium of host, agent and environment, and in some diseases vectors also play a important role. Now regarding agent factors, evolution of pathogenic infectious agent are important cause, that is microbial adaptation and changes in antigenic shift and drift, as for example antigenic shift and drift in influenza virus. Antigenic shift means sudden changes and drift means gradual changes. Increasing virulence of microbes like influenza A virus, which exhibit frequent changes in its antigenic structure, giving rise to new strain with endemic and pandemic propensities. Others are development of resistance to drugs and resistance to vectors to pesticides. Now, what are different causes of antimicrobial drug resistance? So, first of all, the wrong prescribing practices. अपने आप ही कोई भी मेडिकेशन ले ली, सेल्फ मेडिकेशन, जैसे अपने आप कुछ भी हुआ कोई भी एंटीबायोटिक ले लिया. नॉन एडरेंस बाई patient, as in case of tuberculosis, the treatment course is for 6 or 9 months, but patient क्या करता है, एक महीने में ही अगर उसको रिलीफ हो जाए, 1-2 महीने में ही ट्रीटमेंट छोड़ देता है, तो उसमें रेजिस्टेंस डेवलप हो जाता है. और काउंटरफीट ड्रग्स, दैट मीन्स कि ड्रग में सॉल्ट कुछ और दिख रहा है, इंग्रेडिएंट कुछ और है और उसको शो कुछ और कर रहा है. जैसे कि जो कॉस्टली मेडिसिन होती हैं उसमें सस्ते जो चीप इंग्रेडिएंट्स होते हैं, जो सस्ते इंग्रेडिएंट्स होते हैं, सस्ते सॉल्ट्स होते हैं, उनसे बना के उसको महंगा दिखा के उसको सेल कर देते हैं. कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एंटीमाइक्रोबियल ड्रग रेजिस्टेंस: प्रोलॉन्ग्ड हॉस्पिटल एडमिशंस, हायर डेथ रेट्स फ्रॉम इन्फेक्शंस, एंड it requires more expensive, more toxic drugs, higher healthcare cost. Now, host factor. Host factor में there are some factors. Human demographic change, that is inhibiting new areas. Mass migration of people provoked by natural and man-made disaster with concomitant rehabilitation of displaced people in temporary human settlement under unhygienic condition are a important cause. Changes in lifestyle that promote unhealthy and risk prone behavior pattern affecting food habits and other behavior. human susceptibility to infection, that is immunosuppression. It may be because of the organ transplantation or steroid therapy, for any reason, with people traveling much more frequently and far greater distances than in past. The potential for emerging infectious disease to spread rapidly and cause pandemic is a major concern today. Now, poverty and social inequality. Poor population is major reservoir and they are also source of continued transmission. Poverty leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition leads to severe infectious disease and vicious cycle occurs. Due to population growth, humans themselves penetrate or modify unpopulated region, so they come closer to animal reservoirs or vectors, and giving rise to diseases like yellow fever, malaria. Now, regarding environment, unsafe water supply, improper disposal of solid and liquid waste, poor hygienic practices, and congested living condition all contribute to emergence of infection. Economic development and land use, that is urbanization and deforestation, also play an important role. Technology and industries, that is food processing and handling, different methods are also responsible for emergence and re-emergence of disease. Now, climate and changing ecosystem, that leads to global warming. Due to global warming, there is increased surface water evaporation that leads to elevated rainfall that creates new breeding habitats for mosquitoes. It also decreases salinity, which can increase toxic bacteria, and it increases vegetation, which increase rodents. Climate change result in change in the direction of bird migration and changes in the habitat of disease vector. Some other factors, important factors: international travel and commerce as a result of trade and tourism contributing to global dispersion of disease agents, disease reservoirs and vectors. Breakdown of public health measures such as wars and disaster due to migration of population and unhygienic squatter settlement. Squatter settlement means unlawful settlements. Deterioration in surveillance system, that is lack of political will, lack of funding, poor prioritization of health funds, preference for curative rather than preventive infrastructure, and failure to develop adequate health delivery system. Transmission of infectious agent from human to animal to humans. More than 2/3 of the emerging infections originate from animal, that may be wild or domestic. Emerging influenza infection in humans associated with geese, chicken, pigs and bats, etc. Deforestation forces animal into closer human contact in search of food. That increased possibility for agent to breach species barrier between animal and human, that may result in emergence or re-emergence infectious disease. These are some diseases: coronavirus emerging zoonosis, COVID-19, avian influenza, Nipah virus disease, Ebola virus, Marburg disease, hantavirus syndrome, Lyme disease and Lassa fever, etc. Now, prevention of emerging infectious disease, there are some steps: surveillance and response, applied research, infrastructure and training, prevention and control. One by one we will take. First of all, surveillance and response. In surveillance, we rapidly detect unusual, unexpected, unexplained disease pattern. Track and exchange information in real time. What is real time? Real time data is information that is delivered immediately after collection. अभी हमने डाटा कलेक्ट किया और अभी हमने हायर अथॉरिटी को सेंड कर दिया. Response effort that can quickly become global and contain transmission swiftly and decisively as in case of COVID-19. Containment zone बनाते हैं. Now GOND, that is Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network. The Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network is a network that is composed of numerous technical and public health institutions, laboratories, NGOs, and other organizations that work to observe and respond to threatening epidemics. The network pools human and technical resources for rapid identification, confirmation, and response to outbreak of international importance. WHO coordinates international outbreak response using resources from GOND and ensure rapid development of technical assistance that contribute to long-term epidemic preparedness and capacity building. During outbreaks, the GOND ensure that the right technical expertise and skills are on the ground where and when they are needed most. So what are different goals? Goals are to examine and study disease, to evaluate the risk that certain disease pose, and to improve international capability to deal with disease. Surveillance should be at national level, regional level, or global level, and surveillance should be epidemiological surveillance, laboratory surveillance, and ecological surveillance. In there should be investigation and early control measures. There should be implementation of preventive measures and monitoring and evaluation. Now, international health regulation. International health regulation is coordinated by WHO and it aims to keep the world informed about public health risk and events. It is a legally binding instrument of international law that aims to assist countries to work together to save lives and livelihoods endangered by the international spread of disease and other health risks, and to avoid unnecessary interference with international trade and travel. As an international agreement, the International Health Regulation is legally binding. All countries must report events of international public health importance. International health regulation also includes specific measures countries can take at port, airport, and ground crossing to limit the spread of health risk to neighboring countries and to prevent unwarranted travel and trade restrictions. Now, IHR required that all countries have the ability to do the following: detect, assess, report, and respond. Detect means make sure surveillance system and laboratories can detect potential threat. Assess, work together with other countries to make decisions in public health emergencies. Report, specific disease plus any potential international public health emergencies through participation in a network of national focal points, and respond to public health events. Now, international health regulation are having different pillars such as public health emergence of international concern, epidemic alert and response, national focal point, dictates the core requirement for surveillance and response, and ports of entry. Now, public health emergency of international concern, that is PHEAIC, it is defined as an extraordinary event which is determined to constitute a public health risk to other state through the international spread of disease and to potentially requires a coordinated international response. This definition implies a situation that is serious, sudden, unusual, or unexpected. It carries implication for public health beyond the affected state's national border and may require immediate international action. Now, since 2007, the WHO Director General has declared public health emergence of international concern in response to the following: as in 2009, H1N1 influenza pandemic, 2014, setbacks in polio global eradication efforts, and 2014, West Ebola epidemic, 2016, Zika virus disease, 2018, Ebola epidemic, 2019, now outbreak of novel coronavirus in Wuhan, China. Now there are example of some emerging bacterial disease, that is toxic shock syndrome, hemolytic uremic syndrome, Lyme disease, epidemic cholera, cat scratch disease, pseudomembrane colitis, legionnaire disease. Re-emerging bacterial disease examples are tuberculosis, typhoid fever, leptospirosis, anthrax, plague. Example of emerging viral disease: hemorrhagic fever, hantaviral syndrome, Kaposi sarcoma, avian flu, SARS, swine flu, Congo hemorrhagic fever, Zika virus disease, Nipah virus infection, COVID-19. Some re-emerging viral diseases are as Ebola, Marburg, dengue, yellow fever, chikungunya, West Nile fever, Rift Valley fever, human monkeypox. Some emerging parasitic disease या parasites: Cryptosporidium, drug resistant plasmodium, Cyclospora, Acanthamoeba, Keratitis, Gnathostoma, Amoebiasis, Schistosomiasis, Cysticercosis, hydrated disease. Some emerging fungi: non-albicum candida, Penicillium myrmefae, Fusarium, Trichosporium. Re-emerging: zygomycosis, aspergillosis, etc. Now thank you for today's lecture.